Hello folks, welcome to the 6th edition of Options Talk. This is a conversation between AP and me on everything related to options. So today I will talk about option strategies under different implied volatility conditions. So as a standard disclaimer, doing options trading, futures trading is highly risky. So please do your due diligence before taking any trade. So today we'll talk about different kinds of option strategies that one can do under different implied volatility conditions. So implied volatility is nothing but a proxy of options pricing or options premium. So here we talk about two different implied volatility conditions. One is high implied volatility. So this is where when IV percentile, which is a ranking mechanism of implied volatility, is above 50. And the other condition is low implied volatility when IV percentile is below 50. So just to refresh your memory, IV percentile measures the percentage number of days in the past 1 year that the underlying IV has been below the current IV. Now if you are wondering where to get this IV percentile data, you can get it on Opstra. Here is the link, opstra.definance.com/options. So this is free. So you can get all the information about IV percentile there and about all these stocks. Now, first we'll talk about different option strategies that can be done under high IV conditions and three different views like bullish, bearish and neutral views. So first we'll go to bullish strategies under high IV conditions. The first one is a short put. So it's very easy. You short or sell a naked put, which is around 30 delta or lower than that. And then it is neutral to bullish trade. And it has undefined risk because it's a naked option. So it's an undefined risk strategy. This has a probability of profit around 75 to 85% depending on the strike you choose. Now the second strategy is a call ratio spread. In this we buy an at the money call and we sell two out of the money calls. We can also do this using a buying one out of the money call and selling two far out of the money calls. So this is neutral to bullish.
Just one interruption, Raghunath.
Yes.
One thing which newcomers always face a problem is when we talk about spreads, the usual question is how much should be the difference? Like when you say one ATM call to OTM, how much, let's say ATM is 10,500, how much should be the OTM? By how much?
So it depends, like because every stock has different weight and all that. So it's easy to talk in the terms of delta. So you can use a width of around 30 delta. So if I short 50 delta at the money call, then if I buy at the money call which is 50 delta, then I can short two out of the money calls of around 20 or 30 delta.
Got it. Okay.
So you have to choose accordingly, like that you get a payoff like this where you don't have any downside risk, and then it is bullish on the upside. So you have to play around with those strikes to get the proper payoff. So this is a neutral to bullish strategy. It is undefined risk because you have one extra naked option, and the probability of profit is very high depending on the strikes you choose. So around 70 to 90%. And in this call ratio spread, you can also use different ratios. For example, you can use 2 at the money call and 3 out of the money calls, or 3 at the money call and 5 out of the money calls. So you can do different combinations as well. So usually this kind of trade is done when the call premiums are very high, or when there is volatility forward skew is there, when call option premiums are higher than put option premiums. Now the other bullish strategy under high IV condition is a jade lizard. Some people, it's also called broken iron condor as well. So it involves selling a bear call spread. Basically, you are selling at the money call and buying out of the money call. And then you fund this bear call spread by selling a put. And this strategy is usually done when the market has beaten down or the stock has been beaten down and put average are very high. And during that time, this kind of strategy is done. And this is neutral to bullish strategy. It has undefined risk because of one extra naked call, and it has high probability of profit. The next strategy is bull put.
This is something like protecting your, instead of short put, also sell a bear call spread, so protecting it from any downside.
No, protect it from the upside risk. Like if suddenly the market goes up again, then
I meant it that way. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. So, and if nothing happens here also, you benefit. So it's neutral to bullish strategy. And the next one is a bull put spread. This I've talked about in my vertical spreads option stock. Here you sell a close or near at the money put and you buy out of the money put. So this is quite neutral to bullish trade. And this is a credit spread strategy and it is defined risk and probability of profit is high, 55 to 70%. Now coming to bearish strategies under high heavy conditions, short call, it's very simple. Similar to put, you have to use 30 delta or lower for the option strike to sell them. And then it is neutral to bearish, undefined risk strategy, and probability of profit is 75 to 85%. And then you come to put ratio spread, similar to call ratio spread. Instead of calls, you use puts here. You buy at the money put and sell out of the money puts, 2 out of the money puts. It's neutral to bearish, undefined strategy, and probability of profit is 70 to 90%. Now, coming to other strategies is reverse jade lizard, which is like, reverse of the jade lizard that I showed you. It's also called as twisted sister, I think. And here you are selling a bull put spread and you're funding it with a short call. And this is done when the market has gone very high, like it's going in one direction and you expect some kind of correction at some point. Then use this kind of strategy. And this is neutral to bearish strategy and has undefined risk strategy, and pop is around 70 to 80%. And the bear call spread is you sell at the money call and you buy out of the money call as a protection, and is neutral to bearish, defined risk strategy, and pop is around 55 to 70%. So these are bearish strategies under high heavy conditions. Now coming to neutral strategies, and this most of you might have been using in your trading, is a short strangle. It is a non-directional strategy and a delta neutral strategy. You sell one out of the money call and one out of the money put. Should be around sell the 30 delta or less than that, put and call options. And it's undefined strategy, and probability of profit is around 65 to 85%, depending on the strikes that you choose. And the next one is the most commonly used strategy, is a short straddle. And in this, you short one at the money put and one at the money call. This is an undefined risk strategy, and probability of profit is 50 to 60%. And both these are neutral strategies or delta neutral strategies. And when you do short strangle, the advantage is that you don't have to do many adjustments in your trade. And when you do short straddle, then because one of the option, either put or the call, goes quickly into in the money, and then you have to do frequent adjustments. That's the only difference between these two strategies. And the next one is a short iron condor. It's a defined strategy where we sell one out of the money credit call spread. So we sell out of the money credit call spread and one out of the money put spread. Or in another way, you buy a a close to at the money, you sell a close to at the money strangle, and you buy a far out of the money strangle. This is another way of looking at it. And here it's a defined as a strategy and neutral strategy, and pop is around 60% or more, depending on the strikes chosen. And these are now these strategies are more in vogue recently because there's a reduced margins. Now in the Nifty, if you do a iron condor, around 45,000 is the margin required. Now coming to the other one is a short iron fly. It's in this you sell a straddle and you protect the straddle by buying wings, one out of the money call and one out of the money put. That is why it's called short iron fly, because it has wings. And here the probability of profit is very low, and it profits when the stock or the underlying stays within very narrow range. This is a high reward risk scenario. You risk less, but you make more. But the probability of profit is less. So pay attention to that. And this is a defined risk strategy. So one thing, as I said, these are all high should be done high IV conditions, and these are all short volatility trades, option strategies, because implied volatility is a mean reverting has a mean reverting characteristics. When it goes up, it always has to come down to the mean. So that is why it's called mean reverting. So these are all short volatility strategies, but it's important when you should attempt this. So I said that you should attempt at high IV conditions, but please don't just look at the high IV when you do these strategies. But you have to attempt this when it is high IV, but when the IV is coming down. So, for example, in February, in the Nifty VIX went up, and the IV percentile was around 90. So, if you suddenly looked at this, and you would have thought, oh, this is very high IV condition, so I can do short straddle or short strangle. But that is not the correct time. The correct time, because after this, we don't know how long the IV will go up. And if you have done somewhere here, and if you didn't take a stop loss, you would have lost like 4 times of what you got the credit. So this is very dangerous to do when the IV is moving up. So instead, what you have to do is when the IV is coming down. So when IV is cooling down, then you have to do these short volatility strategies. So this is coming from my own experience, and I have suffered doing this. So this is my suggestion, that don't do when the IV is going up, but do when the IV is cooling down. And this will save you a lot of trouble. And also, if you are already in the trade.
1 second, Raghunath.
Yes.
This will also be like looking at wicks, because that is what I look at when shorting straddles or strangles. When wicks is rising, don't short straddles. When wicks starts falling, then only look at that, because then it melts faster.
Yes. And this is, you can also look at stock specific IVs if you want to do the stocks.
Yeah.
So, and if you're already in trade, in this case, for example, if you're already in the trade, then you can exit with a stop loss or whatever, because you don't know how long it can be high, right? So this is my suggestion when you're doing these short volatility strategies. Now coming to strategies under low IV conditions. So in this case, this is bullish strategies. So this is a debit call spread. So we buy at the money, in the money, or at the money call, and then we short out of the money or far out of the money call. So this is bullish and defined as strategy, and probability of profit is 45 to 55%, depending on the strikes chosen. And the next one is an interesting strategy. This is called diagonal call calendar spread. So diagonal because, okay, first it is a calendar spread because one leg involves current month expiry, and the other leg involves next month or for month expiry. And this is diagonal because they are not of same strike. So in this strategy, use short out of the money front month call. For example, if Nifty is at 10,600 now, so you short 10,800 call of July expiry, and then you buy at the money for month call. So you buy at the money, in this case 10,600 August call.
Is it true for weekly and monthly also?
With weekly, you don't have the same payoff with the weekly, because
right.
I mean, you can do with weekly, there is no issue. Like you can do with weekly to weekly or weekly to monthly. You can do, but your margin of error reduces compared to a monthly to monthly one. So just keep that in mind. So this is the bullish and defined risk strategy, and the probability of profit is around 50%. So why this should be done at low IV is because the far out of the month is we are buying it, right? And when the IV increases, because we are doing it at low IV, and when the IV increases, this has disproportionate effect, positive effect on the far month call option than the near month call option. So the price increase in the far month option will be higher than the near month call option when there is an increase in IV. So your payoff will be much higher if your IV increases in this case with this strategy. So that is why it has to be done under low IV conditions. Okay, now coming to bearish strategies, debit put spread. In this is a credit strategy, credit put strategy. In this this is a debit put spread strategy. We buy in the money or at the money put and sell out of the money or for out of the money put for protection. And this is a bearish and risk strategy, and pops around 45 to 55%. And similar to diagonal call calendar spread, you can also do diagonal put calendar spread if you're bearish. So you short front month out of the money put option and buy at the money for month put option or the next month put option. This is bearish and defined risk strategy. Pop is around 50%. And if volatility increases, you will gain from that. So ideally, a diagonal put calendar spread or put calendar spreads are much better than call calendar spreads because the IVs increase when the market goes down most of the time. So diagonal put or put calendar spreads are much better than diagonal call or call calendar spreads. Now coming to neutral strategies, these are you can do either put or call calendar spreads. In this you choose the same strike. So sell at the money put or call and buy out of the money and buy for month at the money put or call. It's a neutral and defined strategy. Pop is around 45 to 50%. And double calendar spread strategy is same like put call calendar spread, but instead you do with out of the money call options and out of the money put options. And this is neutral and defined strategy, and probability of profit is around 50%. Now coming to last week's trade, we are still in this trade. Last week trade, this is actually, and these are around 2000 loss. Now we are around 10,600. So we will wait and see what will happen. Our break even is around 10,785 till July expiry. So AP, if you don't have any more questions, you can take over the session.
Yeah, I think that's good enough.
Okay.
I'll take over.
Yes.
Yeah. Hope you can see my charts.
Yes.
Okay. As usual, I'll be talking about a lot of charts, current charts. The first chart which I'm showing for the first time in this option stock series is a ratio between Bank Nifty and Nifty on an intraday chart. You'll see at the top left, Here it is a 0.1% chart on a 1 minute time frame, which is always 1 minute on an intraday chart in point and figure charts. So you'll see Bank Nifty is seriously underperforming Nifty, because if you see this chart, it has made sort of lower tops, and there was a bearish anchor column on Friday, right at the open, and then towards the end it has given another double bottom sell. So this is quite bearish, which means Bank Nifty is underperforming Nifty. So even if Nifty is going up, Bank Nifty is going up less. Or if market starts coming down, Bank Nifty will go down more than what Nifty will go down. So this you need to keep in mind if at all Nifty goes down on, tomorrow onwards. Coming to put call ratios, this is a put call ratio for this weekly expiry from 10,300 to 10,600. And it's a bit interesting because if you see the put call ratios at quite in the money options, 10,300, 400 are quite bullish. 300 is 6.99, 400 is 4.93, 500 is 2.32. All of them are quite bullish. 600 is not bullish at all. It is just 0.48, the lowest line Aqua blue here. But what I can see from this is they have started dipping. This is something which is a cause for concern for the bulls. So it has to be seen how they behave from tomorrow onwards. I mean, the expiry is Thursday only, but the fact that they have started dipping is a cause for concern. If you go to the Bank Nifty put call ratios, these have dipped more, and that is also very clear from the relative strength chart where Bank Nifty is more, it is underperforming Nifty. So if you see the weekly 21,500, from 21,500 to 22,000 put call ratios, the put call ratio at 22 and 21,900 are not definitely bullish. One is 0.61, the other is 0.75. Even the one at 21,800, which is sort of at the money, is 1.83, which is bullish but not extremely bullish yet. So this needs to be seen going forward more onwards. And 21,700 also is not very far off. Normally I would have liked it if it was much more bullish, like 2.53, but it is only 2.19. So both 21,700 and 21,800 are to be watched tomorrow onwards. And that also brings me to the support on Bank Nifty futures. That is also near 21,700, 21,800. So this will play a critical role tomorrow onwards. So keep a watch on these two lines. And of course, 21,600 and 400, 500 are quite in the money. So then actually they will be bullish. They can't be bearish at all. But all have dipped on Friday second half. So that needs to be seen what happens to this 21,700 and 21,800 put call ratios. Coming to straddles. This is a Bank Nifty 21,800 straddle of 9 July. Now this is clearly weak. It is going down very, the momentum of going down is quite high, and this is definitely weak. And if you see on the right hand side in the commentary, here I'll bring it over here. If you see script 1 is 454 and script 2 is 387. So script 1 is the call, 21,800 call. Script 2 is the 21,800 put. Now if this straddle keeps going down, that means the script 1, which is the call, is the dominating leg on this straddle. So if the straddle keeps going down, that means the call will go down, which means Bank Nifty will become weak. So this is a chart which suggests further weakness Monday onwards. Now, if you come to the Nifty straddle, this is also a 10,500 straddle. Why I picked up 10,500? There's no reason. Even 10,600 was looking the same. But 10,500 straddle also is looking very weak, in which the script 1 is 154, script 2 is 82. That is, the call is 154 and the put is 82. So this also is showing the same picture. So unless market shoots up fast in the first 1 or 2 hours tomorrow, then we are looking for some dip, at least to start with. How it changes has to be seen. Of course, I had also said the same a couple of weeks back, but that time it shot up to, it was at 10,200. It had shot up, but later it came down back towards the same level near expiry. So that was, if I remember rightly, the last week of June expiry. And I have always been saying it, which I keep tweeting also, don't trust the OI build up in the last few days of an expiry. So that is something which has to be watched out for tomorrow onwards. Even if market goes up, keep a watch on these straddle charts and OI charts. That is extremely important. And coming to some trade ideas, if you see the 21,800 call individually of Bank Nifty, this is clearly weak. Look at the big bearish anchor columns on a 3% chart. They are quite a big sell-off on this 21,800 call. So that is also weak. Now, something interesting on the 21,800 put. This is the 21,800 put. Why I have shown 1%, I'll come to that. On a 1% chart, you will see how it has formed a base at the bottom. You'll see the bottoms near 300, 310, 1, 2, 3, 4. All are near 300 to 320. If this low doesn't break, that is very important. It is simple arithmetic. If 21,800 put does not break 300, then we are looking at an expiry below 21,500. It's a loud statement I'm making, but it is simple arithmetic. If 21,800 put does not break this low of 300, which is a strong base, you will see every time it has given an anchor column from there, which means strong buying has come in this put around 300 to 320 levels. So this needs to be watched. Of course, if market goes up tomorrow and this breaks 300, then this theory is invalid. But if it doesn't break 300, so it gives a good risk reward ratio in case it comes back towards 300 and goes up again. So keep watching this put going forward. Another chart which has drawn my interest is HDFC Bank, which came up with results and I believe they were better than expected. But this put chart tells a different story. This is a 11,000 put on 3%. This is a sort of a bear trap where it was an anchor column, bearish anchor column, but then it has given two double top buys. So this low of the bearish anchor column, which is 40, that will play a crucial role as long as this put is above 40. And right now it is only 53. So in case the bank, HDFC Bank spikes up on Monday because of the results, keep a watch on this 1100 put. If it does not go below 40, then you have a trade there. Let me see if I have any more charts. So yeah, I think that's all from me. Another trade which I had given last time was, in fact, I had given 3 trades. One was Bajaj Finance put, which gave a trigger above 100, but then it came down. And in fact, I got a lot of messages. I had given a stop loss near 60, 65. The typical question which I keep getting is, it has gone below 60, should I exit? For me, that is a silly question. If the stop loss is given and it goes below the stop loss, you have to exit. There is nothing like, if it has gone below 60, should I exit? That is a standard question which I get. If it has gone below stop loss, there is no question, you have to exit. Even Tata Steel gave a bullish gap up in the stock because of the results, and there also the put hit stop loss. But out of the 3, the one trade which worked really well was a TCS 2100 call, which I had suggested buy near 70, 75, and it has gone to a high of 125 in the same week. So it was just a 1 out of 3 success ratio in the last week, but stock which gave a good return was TCS. And TCS continues to remain bullish, but the high of the cash or futures which it has done on Friday is a bit of a resistance. Even now the call charts are looking quite bullish. So you can keep an eye on TCS calls again on dip for the coming week. That's all from my side. Any questions, Raghunath?
Yes, AP, yeah. In the first Bank Nifty ratio chart, the relative strength chart you showed.
Yeah.
Just wanted to ask, like, is there any opportunity for pair trading or something like that? Like, if you want to do, what would be the condition under which you would do a pair trading in this case?
Yeah, this pair trading means that you can go long in Nifty and go short in Bank Nifty. See, if this ratio is 2066, which is just I mean, it's not an exact ratio because it is, it has been multiplied with the corrections for the chart to appear on the screen. But as long as this ratio is, I mean, at 2066, it has given a double bottom sell, and the stop loss will be the high of this column of X, which is 2078. So let's say 2080 will be the stop loss for this trade. Buy Nifty futures and short Bank Nifty futures. That can be a good trade with the stop loss of 2080 on this chart.
Okay. So in this
but
case,
of course, that is just a stop loss. I mean, even if it goes again higher till the moving average, which is 2092, this remains weak as long as this ratio is below the anchor column top, which is almost 2100.
Yeah.
So even if it goes, this 2080 was just a trading stop loss. The pattern gets invalidated only when this ratio crosses 2100.
Okay. 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 Thank you, AP.
Okay, fine then.